What's up, Brysonians? We went and saved the best for last, according to Choogie. What's going on, Choogie?
What's up? I'm super pumped.
You super pumped? All of the
Super
pumped?
pumped for two reasons. Three reasons. Anduin's a very fun healer. I like him as a character. And since I played WoW since Classic, I've watched this young man grow up right before my eyes.
Aw.
Uh, um, all the way back when he was a little low poly, goofy looking uh, garbage dump of a child. His original model in Classic as a little boy was fucking gross.
Into this upstanding young man leading everybody,
Yeah,
trying
and now
to
he's
bring people
yeah,
together.
yeah. And here's the thing: so Anduin's a character that everyone's pretty much hated because his dad's so fucking cool, very and so badass. And Anduin was always such a little peacekeeper boy. But now, as a battle for Azeroth, I don't see why anyone wouldn't like Anduin. Anduin, I think's really cool. He's
Yeah.
he's he's become a cool character. Even in Miss Pandaria, he's a teenager. Uh, and he's got some balls because he's doing shit. I mean, people still kind of call him like a whiny teenager at that point, but if you think about it, he's got some balls because he went to a foreign land where Garrosh was out and about causing mayhem, and he was all by himself trying to fix things. So props to Anduin.
Yeah, it's not nothing.
I did a full 180 with Anduin. I thought I was on the same boat. He was annoying and dumb, and now he's
Nice eye.
if he had a if he had a poster, I'd hang it up in my room.
Aw.
Not really, but I really like Anduin.
Alright, so he's a
uh,
medium difficulty healer. So he's
yes,
doing stuff. So he's got your standard priesty flash heal. Cast for 0.75 seconds, deal an allied hero for 270. Cooldown's 5 seconds. It's not bad. Divine Star, send light that deals 140 damage to enemies and then returns to Anduin, healing allied heroes for 130 in a wider path. Healing increases by 25% per enemy hero hit, so that's pretty dope. Chastise, shove a swell of light forward, dealing 175 damage to the first enemy hero hit and rooting them for 1.25 seconds. So, also very cool. Leap of Faith, it instantly pulls an allied hero to Anduin's location, granting them unstoppable while they travel. And basic attacks against enemy heroes heal the lowest health allied hero near Anduin for 26. Um, does the Pursued by Grace just happen, or that's only during the Leap of Faith?
that is passive. So that's actually new. So what's really cool? So Flash Heal used to have a 4 second cooldown, and Leap of Faith was a talent. So what he had was his tier one talents. You used to either choose Pursued by Grace. You would choose one where Flash Heal, um, I think, healed Anduin. If you healed an ally, Anduin got a little bit of health. Um, or the third option was cool, and that was where uh, you got a 5 second cooldown on it, but you got both the other talents. So they got rid of that. That's all gone. And they gave the extra second to Flash Shield anyway. But now one of those talents is just passively in there now, pursued by Grace. And then the other part of it is it's mixed in with another talent as well. So they actually broke that down pretty nicely. Because at tier one, for one more second on a cooldown, you can have two perks was pretty wow. It was kind of a no-brainer. So they broke that whole his whole tier one tree. I think is all broken apart now, and it's been placed elsewhere. So it's a really cool upgrade for him.
Yeah, way to rework it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
being able to just you know, keep your guys topped off, or keep them just barely out of death because you're pummeling whatever's in front of you is great.
yeah.
So then you've got your heroics, you've got your holy word salvation. After 0.5 seconds, channel to invoke the light for 3 seconds, and while nearby, allied heroes heal for up to 30% of their max health and are protected. Um, so I believe it looks like a little dome, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
this actually, if people are playing Warcraft, in the opening cinematic for Battle for Azeroth, he actually does this in the cinematic, and it's really fucking cool looking. But yeah, so this is amazing because 30% of your max health to your whole team is amazing and protected. So they're invulnerable. So they can still be rooted and stunned and that kind of thing, but they're invulnerable. And when they do this, the hard part with this is Anduin can also be rooted and stunned as well. And this is a channeled move. So when he pops this, your team should be running around you and protecting you to make sure they take the hit opposed to you, because everyone loses their protected and their healing if Anduin gets stunned and knocked out of the channel.
Oh, womp
So this is
womp.
a fantastic move, but your team needs to you need to do it in a safe spot, or your team needs to protect you.
Okay. And then you've got light bomb. Imbue an allied hero with the light. After 1.5 seconds, it explodes, dealing 150 damage to enemies and stunning them for 1.25 seconds. The target gains a shield that absorbs 165 damage per enemy hero hit, lasts for 5 seconds.
So before the rework, although I think it's only going to be better after the reworks, um, Anduin and Joanna were a dream team because he would light bomb Joanna, she would charge into battle, uh, activate her iron skin. She gets the shield and unstoppable. She can just run through any group, hit condemn, pull everyone towards her, and then by that time, light bomb would go off, and then she would
Yeah, just
decimate everyone in
decimate
that area.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. So Anduin and Joanna are very frequently on the higher end player base here. Anduin and Joanna would be picked together very, very frequently.
Okay, well, super cool. All right, Bressonians, we haven't done an Anduin build before, so this will be a little bit more of an in-depth
Yes.
build. So hold on to your butts.
Yes. So I do have two builds for Anduin as well. One is kind of just what I think is the best option. And my second build is more of a healer focused build. But after I reviewed both of them, there's only two changes. So the second build's going to go by really fast. Okay, so level one. Even-handed blessings. If flash heal is cast on a different target from its last, increase its healing by 10% and refund 40% of its mana.
Whoa.
Um, so yes, it's pretty cool. There's no doubt you're gonna get a benefit. So in a team fight, we got to heal multiple guys. This is beneficial. But let's look at these numbers though. 10% more healing, 40% reduced cooldown. Um, Heals for 270, so only 10% more of that. Now, granted, the number will scale up, so it will be more. It's only 25 mana, so 40% of that. So maybe 10 or so. So, um, I guess the numbers are good. The numbers are good for sure, but I don't think it will add up.
Yeah, because at its base, you're healing for an additional 27, which is not crazy. But as you said, that'll scale. But
It will scale, but it's still only 10% of that chunk.
yeah.
Um, so the odds of someone being saved by 10% more, it's probably on the lower side. Um, because plus, look at the rest of your kit. If someone's really in trouble, you have Leap of Faith. You can pull them towards you. So it sounds really good on paper. I just don't think that value is going to be greater than the other two options.
Okay.
Uh, so Power Word Shield. While Divine Star is traveling out, so Divine Star, what was that again? It travels out and does damage, and as it comes back, it heals your team, and it heals more per enemy hero hit. Yes, okay. So Power Word Shield. So as it travels out, allies in its path gain a shield, which is nice, for 4 seconds. And then if Divine Star hits an enemy hero, Anduin gains a shield that absorbs a little bit more for 4 seconds. So this is great. Um, I chose this one for the main build because now, so the one thing that's better than healing damage is just not taking damage at all. So if you can set the hard part is it is a skill shot, but it's a wider skill shot. So you can hit probably 2 allies for sure. So if you can shoot this out, hit your allies, give them a shield before a team fight, and then hit a enemy on the way back, then you will heal and you also gain a shield yourself. So before you have to worry about even healing anybody, they have to break through that shield damage. Um, that's a lot. A lot of the healers are just like, cool, we can heal your damage. But when you start diving into some of these pro players and their thoughts, it's much more mana efficient to just negate, to just not have to heal.
Yeah, I get to
So the
save my
fact that you
mana.
can
Yeah.
shield, yeah. So the fact you can shield yourself and your team with this one, I'm going with power word shield. And you know what? Since there's only 2 changes, we'll just go with the second build. So for your second build, I would choose Lightwell. Um, so this used to be a level 16 talent, 16 or 13. So this was a end game talent, and now you get it right off the bat, which is fantastic. This is another mana safe heal. So you summon a Lightwell that periodically heals a nearby ally hero. Again, that number will it's 50 now, but it will increase. And the light will only fades after it heals 15 times or when you recast it. So you can drop this down in somebody's lane, and then you can leave that lane and cover another hero. So I can drop this mid lane, and then me and you can go bottom lane. We'll secure bottom lane, and now our mid lane person, he's got a spot where he can heal himself.
That's amazing.
Yes, and so the cooldown is reduced by 1 second each time Anduin heals a hero. And it doesn't sound like a lot with the 80-second cooldown, but you're getting 15 heals just from Lightwell itself. You have your Divine Star will heal when that comes back, and it will heal multiple allies if they're in the right spot as it returns. Flash Heal obviously is a single target heal, and because of Pursued by Grace, if you attack a hero, you will heal a nearby ally as well.
Just off of
So
that.
you're
Yeah.
actually getting a lot of heals very frequently. So for your healing build, Lightwell is a very solid choice.
And it can't be DPS
And
down. It
do what?
literally just sits there.
It just sits there.
Enemy
Yeah, it
heroes
doesn't
can't take
have
it down.
it,
Okay.
correct. Yep. Yep. There's no health bar. Uh, it's just there.
That's amazing.
So you're either going to get your 15 heals on your team, or you have passed it up and now you will just place it someplace else.
That's awesome.
Yes. So for 4, Moral Compass. Divine Star fires basic attacks at heroes close to its apex, and it also increases your attack range by 1.1. Now this one is very, very cool. So the original talent, uh, there was a talent that increased his attack speed and his range. I believe his attack speed has been increased baseline. So they removed that from the talent. So there's no more attack speed talent because they just baseline increased his attack speed. And his attack range has now, they combined that last part of the talent with this one. Um, so this is great. So now there's 2 talents squished together now. And this used to, if you hit an enemy at the apex of Divine Star, it would fire 2 basic attacks. Now they upped it to it just attacks uh, every hero. So there's 1 attack for every hero. So this also stacks nicely with Lightwell. because our attacks against heroes heal the nearest weakest teammate. So if you shoot this into a team fight and you're a ranged healer, so the odds of you getting them on the apex is going to be much higher. If you shoot that into the team, it hits on the apex, you now attack all 5 enemy heroes. That's 5 seconds off of your Lightwell cooldown. And that's also 5 heals to your team.
Yeah, that's really good.
So yes, so we're only on tier 4, and he has so much synergy already with his shit. So this is why I was so pumped for Anduin, because I already liked him as he was, and now they reworked him, and I said shit, please don't do that. But they did such an amazing job. They're squishing all the right ones together, and there's so much synergy. There's so much synergy already on, and we're only on tier 4. Needless to say, with my excitement, this is the one that I chose.
Yeah.
Uh,
For both
Surge of
builds?
Light. Uh, correct.
Okay.
Both builds, because basically our healing build, this is going to give us more heals, reduce cooldown on Lightwell. On our normal build, um, this is just going to stack with its power on Divine Star. So Divine Star is a major part of his build, because it is offensive, it heals, and now we just spec it to cast shields, and now we spec it to cast more damage as well. So Divine Star is gonna Divine Star is his only offensive ability. Um, I guess besides Chastise, but that's more that's your that's like Joanna's shield glare. You're going to use that not constantly.
Okay.
You know, you're going to, that's the one, it's going to lock an enemy in place. So if an enemy's running away, if they're trying to get somewhere, like you can stop the healer from getting into range. So that one you're gonna keep on your belt when you need it. You're not gonna pop it out a lot. Anduin's gonna use Flash of Light and Divine Star very frequently. Uh, I do though want to sit down and take a look eventually, and I know there are good options for Chastise. Because I play Uther with his Divine Hammer, and I play him more of a stunning support healer. And I bet there is a good Chastise build for Anduin, to make him more of a stunning support healer as well.
Okay.
So I know it's out there. I just haven't really looked at it, and really found it. Uh, so Surge of Light. Speaking of Chastise builds here. So basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Chastise by 0.5 seconds. Basic attacks against heroes rooted by Chastise launch an additional basic attack and restore 25 mana. Right there, that's awesome. So speaking of synergy, we're getting mana back, which is great, but now if we attack someone who is chastised, it counts as 2 attacks. So now they're taking 2 hits of damage. That means our what is it called again? Our Pursued by Grace is now going to heal 2 times, and if we choose Lightwell, that's now 2 seconds off that cooldown. So Surge of Light is synergizes well too. So this is a good talent. Um, Piercing Light, Chastise pierces to hit an additional hero. That's really cool. Hitting 2 heroes with a single Chastise permanently increases spell power by 1 to a max of 10. Okay, that's cool. 10 spell power isn't the hugest amount.
Yeah, it's not insane.
And Chastise, when you do it, I find it's pretty easy to hit with, but it does move slow. So the fact that you have to hit 2 heroes just to get 1 spell power, I think that's going to be a little bit hard. This is tempting with it being a quest. Quest talents, I think, are always tempting to take. If you want to power your Chastise, Surge of Light, I think, is a much better choice, because I think that's going to synergize better with Lightwell. Um, my playstyle, I think Moral Compass I think Moral Compass will just kind of synergize better.
Okay.
Because Chastise, they're stunned for 1.25 seconds. So realistically, you're only going to get one attack on them while they're chastised. So it's not like you're going to get multiple hits off of them. Moral Compass, though, if you hit them on their apex, you can hit a lot of guys. Plus, the passive, your attack range is increased by 1.1. That's a world of difference. As a squishy ranged healer, it will keep you viable to heal your team through Pursued by Grace at a much further range. So the passive part of this keeps you more safe. So Surge of Light, I could see some good things with Surge of Light, but Moral Compass is my vote.
Okay.
Now this one I think is hard because this one has good options. So Binding Heal, casting Flash Heal on an ally heals Anduin for 115. So this is one of those talents that got moved. So this is cool. This works just like Uther's his healing move, because if you heal if you heal an ally, he has it baseline though. If you heal an ally, you get healed as well. So this is cool. You benefit for healing your team. Always good. Blessed Recovery. If Anduin loses more than 8% of his maximum health at once, you recover 15% health over 3 seconds. So that's almost gaining double damage, which is nice. This effect has a 10-second cooldown. So every 10 seconds it'll work. That's a much better cooldown than some of these things. So currently, you need to lose 133 health.
At once.
At once, yes. So that can come from multiple sources. So if you get stunned and the whole team just dominates you, that's when it's going to happen. So it doesn't have to be from one attack, but it does need. It is a very tiny window.
Okay.
So this is actually really good. Because yeah, this is just something that will keep you safe, and you don't even have to think about it. It'll just happen. So this is pretty good. Desperate Prayer, 40-second cooldown. Excuse me. Activate to instantly heal an allied hero for 360. Excuse me again. But kneel for 2 seconds, unable to act. Ooh, that's rough. So 360 is pretty big. That will scale. So Flash Heal is currently 270. So this is stronger than our main heal, but we're stuck kneeling for 2 seconds. So I don't like this because this on a 40-second cooldown heal move. So it's one of those like keep in your back pocket to desperately it's your like ace in the hole heal move. Like, oh no, my shit's on cooldown, I need to heal so I can heal someone. But now you can't move for 2 seconds, so now you need to be smart with your placement. Because if you do it in a bad spot, now you're just sitting there for 2 seconds.
Yeah, getting wailed on.
You can get stunned, you can get hooked. You're just a sitting target. So if you use this to desperately heal your ally as a kind of a clutch heal, well, now you're fucked. And the enemy can capitalize on that so easily. And now if you die, if the healer, like I said with Joanna, sometimes the tank should die to save the rest of the team. The healer should never die to save one person. So the opposite rule, and this is something that can easily set the enemy team up to take out the healer. So Desperate Prayer, I don't think is a good option. So I did choose Blessed Recovery for both builds.
Okay.
Mainly just to cover your ass if shit happens. However, if you want to be more aggressive with both builds, Binding Heal is also nice as well. So you can just heal your team, and you can get some benefits as well from it. So either one's a good choice. Um, yeah, I don't know. Binding heal is great. It's definitely good. Um, Bless recovery, like I said, it just covers your ass. So if you're confident and you're doing good, go with binding heal. If there is an enemy, like if the enemy has, if your enemy team has a lot of stuns or roots or anything that will allow them to gang up on you easily, use bless recovery.
Okay.
If you're if they're more of a damaged oriented team, then binding heal would be a nice choice too, because you staying full health while healing your team is very, very helpful. Not having to take your time healing yourself when you could focus on your team and still get healed is great.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah, so just pay attention to your enemy team before making your level 7 choice. And you'll probably, by level 7, you'll probably have a good idea on whether or not you're going to need blessed recovery. Level 10, this is tough because they're both very, very good. Um, I would say if you're getting your ass kicked, or if you're the only healer, Holy Word Salvation. If you are one of two healers, and you have a good aggressive tank, this is another hard one, is Light Bomb. You can cast Light Bomb on yourself, but Light Bomb is kind of a communication move, So Light Bomb, you would basically, if you're playing with randoms, you would just pay attention to who is charging in on your team and then put that on your team member.
Okay.
So, or if you're playing with people, then you can just say, I'm going to give you Light Bomb, jump in and nuke these guys. So either one, they're both very, very good. One's offensive, one's defensive. Um, I will say a lot of the meta build right now is actually having two healers. Um, so if that's the case, if you're one of two healers, Light Bomb is a lot safer to use. But if you're the only one, Holy Word Salvation is pretty great. And what makes it tough when we get to level 20, both of the upgrades at level 20, both of these are amazing. So it's not like the level 20 makes you veer towards one direction or the other. For the second build, for the strictly healing build, I would just say Holy Word Salvation, because that's just going to be more healing overall.
Okay.
13. Speed of the Pious. While Divine Star is traveling, gain 30% movement speed. Each allied hero healed by Divine Star on its return to Anduin reduces its cooldown by 1 second. That is super, super cool. And the nice part, having that 30% movement speed, is now you can position yourself. So Divine Star works like a boomerang. You shoot it out, and when it hits the apex, it will come back to wherever you're at. So if you're moving, it will then turn on its way back, and it'll shoot the other direction. So that means once you shoot it out, you can maneuver yourself behind your team. So when it returns, it will heal your team member. So this is nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with this. Ideally, you want to position yourself before you send it out, especially because we have the talent where we're giving our allies shields as it goes out. So having the movement is going to be good to make sure you can maximize your healing on the move when it returns, but it's not really going to help us out for the armor. Regardless, this is a great talent. Push forward. Damage an enemy hero increases movement speed by 2.5%, and the amount healed by Pursued by Grace by 5% for 6 seconds. And these stack up to 8 times. So this is cool in a team fight. You can stay active and moving as you go, and your healing when you hit the heroes will increase. that is, it's cool. Um, I just think the so the problem with this move is that it's such a slow ramp up, and it's only 6 seconds. Um, and you have to hit an enemy hero. So an enemy, once they stun you and they want to run away, then push forward kind of becomes no good. So you really need to be protected by your team if you're going to use this talent. Uh, and then increasing, so what it stacks up to 8 times. Okay, so pursued by grace will be increased by 40%. So that is pretty cool.
That's pretty
That
good,
is
yeah.
a good chunk of healing for just basic attacking a hero. Um, yeah, my only issue is Anduin, because of Holy Word Salvation, his power, his heroic, he already is. Well, all heroes are a target to be stunned and knocked up and rooted, all that stuff. So to have a power like this, to you can just lose your stacks kind of quick. So it's a good talent, but I'm afraid the uptime, you won't really maximize the uptime on this one. Just my concern. Although we chose Moral Compass, which gives us that extra 1.1 attack range. So it might be worth it. Enchanted Boots, Lion Speed, gain 5% movement speed. So already we are gaining 2 stacks worth of movement speed compared to the other to a push forward. This bonus is quadrupled. We get 20% movement speed, while Leap of Faith's cooldown is available. Um, Allies pulled by Leap of Faith are healed for 280 over 4 seconds. That number will scale. So, um, as long as we're able to use Leap of Faith, we're going to have 20% movement speed, which is the same as um, Rhaegar's Spirit Wolf form. So we're going to be moving fast. And the only time when we're going to lose 15% of that is when we pull our ally to safety. And the big perk with this one is now they added the fact that it heals. It used to not, there was no talent to make it heal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was one of the things that people didn't like is you would pull your ally to safety, but they could still take damage. So they would die in midair as being pulled.
Oh, jeez,
But now
that's
this
gross.
heals.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
perfect. Okay.
So even when you pull and heal your ally, which is your whole purpose as a healer, you still have 5% movement speed, period. While push forward, you need to attack a hero twice just to get that perk. Um, you don't get any pursued by grace heal, but we're healing as we pull. So I I think Enchanted Boots is what I went with. Uh, this used to be an old talent, and that was the one I went with back then as well. Only that time it didn't heal. So Enchanted Boots is just. I see the appeal of push forward. I think Enchanted Boots is going to be the more consistent bonus.
Okay.
So I went with that for both builds. 16. This is different for the builds. Okay. Okay. So renew. Flash Shield heals an additional 130 over 5 seconds. Number will scale. The duration of this heal is refreshed each time Anduin hits an enemy hero with a basic attack. So that rocks. Because, as you know, his basic attacks against heroes heal an ally. So not only are you doing a heal over time on your ally, now as you're attacking, you're still healing that ally, and you're keeping their heal over time duration extended. So Renew is fantastic. Holy Nova. After Anduin catches Divine Star, it explodes, healing nearby allies for 105 and damaging enemies for 150. Number scale. This on paper is really, really cool. I was watching a guy test it, and the only issue with it is that it doesn't have the biggest range. So for damaging enemies, that's cool, except as a ranged healer, you don't really want to be surrounded by
I
enemies.
was gonna say it sounds like you really got to be stuck in to like
Yeah,
do damage, and that's not where you want to be
yeah,
at all.
yep, exactly. And then healing heroes is always great, but if you have, um, you're going to be behind your tank, and if your team is made up of, um, if you have if you have a bruiser, a melee bruiser, and a melee assassin, then that'd be three characters you're really not close by. So that means the explode heal is only going to affect your ranged assassins if you're even that close to them.
Yeah,
So
or
Holy
if they're
Nova
even in your lane.
is
Yeah.
correct. Yes, yes. If they're even in your lane. Um, so this would be more useful in team fights. However, if you have a melee team, you're not going to be by them. So Holy Nova is fantastic on paper, um, but practically, I don't think this is what you're going to want. Uh, the Glyph of Faith is our last one. Leap of Faith gains a second charge. Um, and this is the one that I chose. I do need to test something with it because level 13, our enchanted boots, we have our 5% movement speed, but it's quadrupled, so 20% movement speed if Leap of Faith's cooldown is available. That means, I believe, if we use one Leap of Faith to pull an enemy to safety and heal them, we still have one more charge to use. That means it's still off cooldown, I hope. So one will be on cooldown and one will not be on cooldown. I hope if you can keep the movement speed bonus of Glyph of Faith, if you have two charges of it, then Glyph of Faith will be great.
Yeah,
So
that
if you
checks
can
out.
do Leap of Faith, yeah. So if you can use one and still keep that movement speed bonus, because you still have access to one, then this Glyph of Faith will be fantastic. Definitely the one to choose. For build two, for our strict healing build, this is when we finally get a new change. I chose Renew.
Okay.
Um, and if you do not, well, I don't know, because yeah, we'll just stick with that. Having that extra healing and being able to refresh it is fantastic. Um, I was gonna say if you don't keep the movement speed bonus, if you just use one charge, I would say maybe it's not worth it. The fact that we heal while we pull, and now you can pull two allies to safety. It's actually, I think Glyph of Faith is going to be the solid choice here. But Renew sounds very, very powerful. So strict heal build, Renew's the choice. Uh, so yeah, so our healing build is pretty much done with our differences. It was just level 1 and level 16. Everything else is the same.
Okay.
And now 20, this is when it gets tough because all this shit is rad. Well, let's do censure first because I think this might be kind of the weakest one. So chastise stuns for 0.75 seconds, and its root duration is increased by 0.5 seconds. So that's cool. That's great. But looking back at these builds, besides level 4, we have 2 chastise talents there, and then we don't get any more chastise talents until level 20.
Yeah,
So
so not really worth it.
you can only talent chastise twice, and because of that, I say censure just don't. I wouldn't really do it. Um, Next, I think probably what sounds super cool, but I think it's probably another kind of a weak choice. Varian's Legacy. Um, so basic attacks burn enemies for 87, and by the time we hit 20, that number will be way, way higher. Uh, for 3 seconds, and Anduin heals for 50% of the damage dealt. That's great. You got some self heal, and you do some damage over time. This is excellent. However, I just feel like this is probably a weaker talent compared to it's a weaker talent for a level 20 and compared to our heroic upgrades. So, um, like this is the kind of talent that I love. I like being able to damage over time and self heal. I like that. So on paper, this is a no brainer to take it for me. But after we go over Inner Fire and Light of Stormwind, you'll see why. Not only is it a weaker talent compared to those two, but I think this is kind of a weak talent for 20. I feel like maybe we can scale some of these numbers down a bit, throw them into 7 or 13. So unfortunately, I want to choose Varian's Legacy, but these other two are great. Um, so Light of Stormwind, Holy Word Salvation grants allied heroes invulnerability instead of protected, which does not affect Anduin. So Anduin can still be stunned and broken out of the channel. But what invulnerability is invulnerability is protected and what is it? Immovable. I don't remember what the other talents or the other status is called. I can't
Oh yeah, I don't
think.
remember.
So basically, you can't take damage just like invulnerability, and then you can't be rooted or stunned or slowed. Nothing like that with
Blinded.
um, unstoppable. Unstoppable is what it is. Yeah. So basically, this makes your allies just immortal. As long as they're in there, they just get nuked. Now, channeling Holy Word Salvation for its full duration reduces its cooldown by 60 seconds.
That's nuts.
Holy Word Salvation has a 80-second cooldown.
Yeah, that's a hell of a
So
cooldown reduction. Jesus.
every 20 seconds, you can grant your team invulnerability and 30% maximum health gain. So it's so powerful. It's so powerful. And compared to Varian's Legacy, some doing some burn damage over 3 seconds and then heal for half that, you know, the 30% max health is going to be more beneficial from Light of the Storm, especially if you can get that 60 seconds reduced. And then Inner Fire. So the target of Light Bomb, as I said, Joanna, we'll give it back to her. We put Light Bomb on Joanna. Now she gains 40% move speed and 50 armor for 3 seconds. So that means she's going to be fast as hell and only take half damage. So whoever you put this on is going to be able to uh, sustain the damage and move fast enough to get to wherever they need to be to do the most damage for Light Bomb. So
Okay.
that is insane because if you put Light Bomb on your tank, like I said, Joanna, if we use the build I used, she does condemn, which is going to pull the enemies towards her. She has the armor. She can do Iron Skin to give herself a shield. So then her shield will only take 50% damage because of the armor. And the Condemn, we have it spec to where she gains 20% movement speed while Condemn is active. So she pops Condemn, and now she can move 60% faster. That's twice as fast as a mounted hero. So, uh, yeah, you do that to your tank, and they just become unstoppable. So it's base. You can almost say you can basically guarantee the Light Bomb going off where you want it to go off. Uh, so I would say Variance Legacy, if you're just having a fun time, do it because it sounds really, really fun. For healing, Light of Stormwind is definitely the choice to go. And if you chose Inner Light Bomb before at 10, Inner Fire would be great to choose as well. So he's got such a huge, powerful level 20.
All around good stuff.
Yeah. So that's why I'm so pumped for Anduin shit, because they did such a good job on upgrading and condensing his stuff and bringing him new things.
He's not even going to be mad if he gets the stupid healer quest.
The healer quest.
Yeah, when you have to play as a healer, you're going to be like, fuck yeah, I've been dying to play Anduin all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I never mind the healer. It's just Overwatch. I don't want Overwatch. I'm fucking Overwatch. Although I've been getting Diablo heroes for a long time now.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, is it just like Overwatch was for that month or what? I feel like I get Diablo all the time now.
Yeah, it's like my 4th day in a row getting Diablo heroes.
Have they been getting our letters, you think? Our email campaign is working?
They should be throwing us a little more Warcraft heroes.
Yeah. This is true. Should be doing that and giving us a new map. If they're getting all our letters.
Yeah. And Grom Hellscream. Hello, Grom Hellscream as a bruiser, thank you.
Alright, Bransonians. Thank you so much for joining us. That's our sweet, sweet Anduin build. 2 builds for the price of 1. Can't get that kind of value everywhere. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. We always appreciate the love and support. And we'll see you in the next video with all the GOMs.